And more importantly, against this composition of SK, Evelyn's coming in from the side. She's not going to be lining up with the rest of the team. Ari's going to be dashing around with her ultimate, not going to be lining up with the team. And Karma is going to be making everyone run faster. So I feel like Mr. Rolls is going to be quite hard-pressed to naturally find that multi-man spray and pray unless SK invade, are in the jungle, or in a confined space. So we need to keep our eyes on how that works out.
Well, we know how this one's going to start off. Selfie with a spear to the face of Enrated. Inner Flame is not going to find his target. So we'll get to see what Self is like on Nidalee this time around. Orianna didn't work out so well from yesterday, and Super Hot Crew are 0-2 so far in the Super Week. SK themselves looking to try and fight that top spot, and this, if they can secure the top spot and more importantly go on in the playoffs, this would be the first thing for the SK organization as a victory in a very long time.
Yeah, especially as a team. I mean, the League of Legends squad hasn't been in the upper echelons of placements since Season 2 Regionals, where SK Gaming did manage to place second, just behind Gambit, and actually qualified for the Season 2 World Championship. So we'll need to see if they can continue the strong run of form. We talked about it in the pregame. 2 wins for SK and guarantee those top 2 spots. I want to see if they're going to go for a lane swap.
Yeah, they're going for a rotation. You can see already both the support and top lane are backing away. Master Rales is actually just going to stroll on past instead. Will he get spotted out? Nope, no vision, and he will get past. Free.
So I wonder if this was a psych out from SK because they had Enrated in the mid lane. You've seen Super Hot Crew, you see Mixer moving to the top lane. It looks like SK are going for an invade, and it does look like Super Hot Crew are going to commit to this lane swap. But the question is, did SK want to bait Super Hot Crew and force the 2v1? As in, does Trundle want to go up against 2 members? The question will be answered in just a few moments.
Well, Impaler and Mr. Rales start off the red buff. It's going to be a double invade. Back and forward, Impaler takes the red, Svenskeren takes the red, and everybody goes back to their own jungle.
Yeah, in terms of these lane swaps, I actually think both teams are in pretty good positions. If Twitch gets his attack speed bonus once he eventually starts skilling up that Q, which is ambush, he's going to have a nice attack speed bonus to shred towers. Along with the Spellthief's Edge applying bonus damage and gold regeneration, Mr. Rolls and Mixer can take a lot of damage on that tower, and Candy Panda and Enrated can do the same job. Jinx, with her minigun out, is also going to melt through towers, so we'll see who can take down the towers quicker.
Mr. Rana's going to continue that farming. Impaler is going to be skittering away, and Svenskeren's going to be taking that blue buff. So, both junglers on an equal path right now. And the mid laners, this is going to be the interesting one. We are going to see how Jesus plays Ahri and how Selfie plays Nidalee. We just saw Alex Itch sort of setting the path for him, so he knows exactly what he's got to do, and he's going to know that anyway. A fantastic solo queue player, but transferring his skills into the LCS is another matter. And Impaler's going to get spotted out by that ward that Freddy just placed in there, and it may well mean it's going to be a 3-man stack on this tower early.
Yeah, Freddy's playing so safe. So we do see the 2v1. Let's theorize that Super Hot Crew wanted to go for the tower to deal with Evelyn, force Evelyn to go bottom lane, and then also to allow them to get that tower. Both top laners are backed away. Now you have to think, if Super Hot Crew continue this game and rotate around and try to play the tower game like Gambit did in the previous game, Twitch needs to ambush people. If Twitch doesn't get out and secure surprise kills in the rotations, they could have gone with Caitlyn and probably done this job more effectively. So we'll need to see how Super Hot Crew move around the map as they get the first tower.
Well, there's one down. The bottom one will be following. SK taking a little bit longer to take this one down, and Mimer's going to try and do some defensive duties. I'm not too sure if he can really get involved in that though.
So it's what you see. If you are confident enough in your positioning, you still get the experience of the minions going down. So it's what we talked about yesterday, where smart play means, yes, you're losing the turret, you're losing the gold, but you're not losing out on those levels.
Let's see who sticks around the longest here, who blinks first, because we've seen a couple of teams trying to outstay their welcome and sometimes going back a little bit too early. Super Hot Crew pushing well on these towers. This is something we've seen over in Korea a lot, and now North America, of course, been transferring that. You would have seen it with the CLG TSM game earlier this week.
And now Europe. This is the second or third game that we've seen this week where they've traded inner and outer turrets. Now, actually, SK Gaming were the first ones to peel away. They did not get Super Hot Crew's bottom inner turret. If they've set their sights on either Dragon or this mid turret, that's what they're going to be going for. And as it stands, I think this may have been a mistake. Dragon's not going to be worth as much gold as that tower is. but then you've got to argue they've got timer, they've got control. So, you know, at the end of the day, Freddy doesn't get caught by Cocoon.
Cocoon at max range does not land. It does force him away, though, and Super Hard Crew are yet to back away. As you mentioned, the Dragon will go down. Svenskeren doesn't really want to tank this one up much longer. He's like, hey, AD carry, do you mind actually coming in and taking some of those hits? I may go down here.
600 gold at this point. That's all the Dragon's worth because the average level is so low. So, yes, okay, SK, they've traded tower for Dragon. But as it stands, if Mr. Rolls and Mixer decide to go to the bottom lane, they're going to have that additional inner turret to work from, and they've got a little bit of extra safety in their bottom half of the map. That was a lot of damage from Jez's, you know, melting through Selfie's HP.
Yeah, and of course it is true damage on the way back, which is what really hurts out on that one. Selfie going to take down those towers, take down those minions. He'd be wishing it was towers he was taking down just as quick, but fortunately for him, it is not. So, where does this leave the position for this game? You can see SK have rotated, and now Candy Panda and N-Rated are sitting in the mid lane along with Svenskeren, so it's a 4-man push for mid now from SK.
Yeah, and you've got to see that the wave clear from Super Hot Crew is incredibly weak. A level 6 Nidalee can do melee range wave clear, but nothing more. Lulu doesn't have ability power, and Twitch is going to do nothing in tower defense situations unless he spray and prays the whole wave. They've charmed Selfie out, and when you look at the zone of control that SK has under the tower, the moment Super Hot Crew against their own tower, they fall behind. They don't have that same level of wave clear to defend, although they do have good poke from Nidalee.
Well, the difference is there that Candy Panda wasn't really soaking up the experience that Mr. Rallis has been, which is why he's got that slight level advantage. Tribush Ward coming out from N-Rated has wisely picked out there, but and Mr. Rallis is going to have to be careful. We do see, waiting in the wings, again, junglers helping out this duo lane. Impaler is there. He's going to take those golems down. He's going to try and rotate around, but that ward position will give him away, and Svenskeren is going to counter it.
Yeah, we'll see how this 3v3 plays out. I think there's more damage and more kill power on the side of Candy Panda and Rated because Lulu is going to need a lot of time to deal damage. Cocoon doesn't connect, so Svenskeren is going to, and he's back away from this one. So Mr. Rolls and Mixer, I'm expecting him to farm.
Oh,
it's around the corner.
Ward.
It's around the corner.
It is not. I'm not falling for that one. That is an issue, and they can't see that ward, which is why they didn't take it away. So Super Hot Crew not really aware of the vision they have in that Tribush that SK Gaming have, and that ping ward kind of going to waste.
Yeah, a little bit, unfortunately. It will, of course, allow them to spot Svenskeren if he walks through it, though. So that is something that you can't take away. But as it stands, Svenskeren with a little bit more roaming, even on CS, going to try counter jungle. He's going to be a little bit careful. If he does find Evelyn in the jungle, even with the reduction in Evelyn's early game damage and stun, she can still duel Evelyn very well. Another good charm from Jez's, but he's got no mana to go all in.
Yeah, and the spear going past just at the side. Svenskeren's going to spot out that pink one. Mr. Rale's going to come in for this one. Going to put some damage down, but not a great deal. They've got to be careful. They're in a 3v1 situation. Candy Panda might try and turn the aggression on this one instead. Just happy to take the ward.
Now, if SK are caught in a position like that later in the game, that is when Mr. Ross is going to have prime time spray and pray damage. There was 3 members of SK that were grouped up, and if they're trying to move forward for an objective or for a champion kill, and Mr. Rolls is in a good position, he's going to be able to secure kills. One of the reasons Twitch has got that ambush on his Q and is built into his kit is he is all about positioning, in a similar vein to Misfortune. The way Misfortune wants to line up multiple enemies and hit them with bullet time, Mr. Rolls has to do the same as spray and pray. Otherwise, I'm nervous about how his team fight chances are going to be with the rest of the comp from Super Hot Crew.
So, blue buff across to Jez's. Selfie, I believe, got his own one as well, and we are seeing them starting to back away. Jez is going full on aggression. Deathcap's going to be what he's aiming for early on, no doubt about that one. He wants to explode Nidalee.
I wonder if it's going to be Deathfire Grasp out of that needlessly large
Deathfire Grasp, that's what I meant, yeah.
Grab, you know, the magic damage bonus from DFG, and then in conjunction with the magic damage increase from Charm, does allow you to blow people up. And look at this, another siege from SK. They've rotated the dual lane, and there's not a lot of minions, so they'll get it close to being taken out, but not killed just yet.
Well, the Charm landed on Selfie, the Spear does not, and that tower is ever so close to going down here. Remember SK's rotations yesterday against Fnatic. They managed to turn that game around, and Super Hot Crew have got to be aware. Once they think they've got themselves a solid situation, SK may be able to try and rotate it around. It looks like Super Hot Crew are trying to gather for this mid lane, though. They want to try and create a play. Remember, the Dragon's not available, and that's where Super Hot Crew are going. He's not up for another minute.
Yeah, so they've actually pulled Mima down. Mima doesn't have teleport either, so anytime you see Mima leaving his lane, it's giving Freddy an advantage. He's got a 10 CS lead. He's actually sitting very deep in his own territory, so Mima has to overextend an immense amount if he wants to, continue farming and applying pressure to Freddy. Now we'll see how well can SK defend the tower. They're going to be relying on their wave clear, and there you go. Minion's dead.
I'd like to see Selfie land the spear. That's what I'd like to see. Not seen too many of them yet.
So would the Super Hot Crew at this point in time. But he doesn't have a lot of ability power. He's going for the Athenes and Holy Grail. As we've seen in the previous game, Alex picked up Marilla Nomicon because of the lack of magic damage threat that was coming out of Rocket. Now that you've got a lot of magic damage from Karma, from Ari, and from Evelyn, it makes sense. Wave clear is going to be paramount for SK Gaming. Orbit Deception needs to hit all the minions, and as the siege tank actually smites it away.
Oh, Jez is going aggressive. He may well take that mixer here. Wild Growth having to be used on himself. Of course, he can manage to keep himself safe. That death record secure for now.
So that was actually a good play by Jez's. Going in, landing the charm, and almost getting mixer. What I like about that is it's a confident play on Ari, and that's how you have to play the champion. If you aren't going to be in those siege situations and thread the needle of your skill shots, you're not getting the most out of the nine-tailed fox. So well played by at least Jesus to attempt it, but unfortunately didn't get the kill.
So Bloodthirster's trying to be built out. Mr. Ral has almost got his ready to go. Candy Panda just farming out a little more. He may well go back and complete it entirety. Dragon is now up, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the focus target. Impaler taking a blast of the inner flame, and those spears continuing to rotate and fly out, but get to land.
Yeah, I think SK are doing a pretty good job at dodging them, and Selfie's not really flying targets. Mixer's in a little bit of trouble. If Svenskeren doesn't use Agony's Embrace, he's not looking for a kill. So that was just zoning. With Dragon having respawned now and Super Hot Crew being aware of it, they've got a 5-man stack. So Freddy's going to need to teleport early enough to get pillars down and help his team win that fight.
Selfie going to get caught out and rated. Having to flash away from that one, was a bit worried about the cocoon coming from Impaler, and that's actually forced Super Hot Crew to start off this Dragon. The teleport comes in. Freddy's going to join the fight here. There's Agony's Embrace coming out from Svenskeren. Gigantic shield coming out, and everybody focuses on towards him. The peel from Super Hot Crew is good though, and that actually Pillar of Ice is helping them. Selfie's going to try and come in, try and land some of those spears, try and chip some of SK down. They're not backing off yet.
Yeah, if Super Hot Crew want to engage in a fight, they need multiple spears to land. Svenskeren takes a big hit. Spray and Pray is still available. There goes Jesus.
Going in towards it, and Impaler taking low. He gets dropped. Svenskeren's going to go down. Candy Panda, is he going to get dropped as well? He's having to head away at the back here. SK Gaming are running scared. There's the spear that lands. That's what they were looking for. Mima manages to get himself a kill on N-rated, and it was a 3-for-0. And the Dragon for the Super Hot Crew.
Very, very well played team fight by the Super Hot Crew. You did see the spray and pray from Mr. Rals hitting multiple members of SK as they were funneling down to force a fight. Jesus dove into the team, and that allowed Mr. Rals to get a very well-placed spray and pray. You've seen all of the poison ticks on the members of SK. That is a big swing in gold. All of the solo laners of Mima, Selfie, and Mr. Rals got 1 kill apiece. They were involved in the Dragon. They got some assists on the board, and that is a strong start for the Super Hot Crew.
So red buff going across to Impaler, and he's been running a good job so far. As you mentioned, everybody getting involved in those kills. The assists spread nicely, and that's really catapulted the gold a little bit for the Super Hot Crew, and that's exactly what they didn't do yesterday. They were not winning that opening Dragon fight. This time around, they have. They've got the first kills. They've looked good in the lane phase. Could the Super Hot Crew take it to SK Gaming? We've already seen Roccat tumbling to Gambit. We've seen crazy performances from Millennium taking down Alliances. Can the Super Hot Crew continue to turn this table on its head?
So the theory is there, and for Super Hot Crew to try and force that playoff decider with the Copenhagen Wolves, they cannot afford to lose. With that being said, yesterday SK Gaming also lost in the opening 15 minutes to Fnatic, and then pulled it back in the mid-game when there were more towers down and SK were able to rotate around objectives. So they're not out of the woods yet. Super Hot Crew got a nice lead, but they need to make use of that lead by landing good poke under towers and exerting map control. If Supa Hot Crew do not control the map with vision and with towers, then their comp is going to fall a little bit behind.
I feel a lot may rely on Jez's being able to pull the trigger at the right time as well and maybe explode someone. SK laying in wait. They learned this trick from Fnatic yesterday, but...
Enrated learned it many months ago when he was on Fnatic. This time around, a little less effective though, unfortunately. Nobody's going to face check that bush.
Mr. Rales is coming down there. Maybe they're just thinking, you know what, let's actually go back there. The rest of the Supa Hot Crew are pushing in the mid lane, but Mr. Rales is all alone at the moment down this bottom, but he's playing it very cautiously.
Yeah, I think he's playing it very safely because he has to. Yesterday, he gave up 8 deaths. And he got dove so many times. Now we'll see if he can get away. Does have flash, does have ambush.
He's going to stealth up instead, and well, Enrated. Oh, he does catch him, but doesn't know about it. He's stealthed up, of course.
Yeah, smart play. Ambush did manage to remove the vision from him. So if SK want to deal with him in the next few fights, they need to carry pink wards around with them. In addition, Mr. Rales has got a very small window of opportunity. If he takes any damage while he's trying to channel that ability, it's going to interrupt it.
Right, meanwhile, Supa Hot Crew continue to push. Jez is looking to go aggressive. Oof, that spear close to landing. The minion, sacrificial minion in the mid lane. SK rotate back. It's 5 members into the mid, and maybe they're going to try and make a push of their own.
So what I like about SK's comp as well, if they single somebody out with a charm, get some damage down from Evelyn, you can finish them off with the execution that Jinx offers thanks to a super mega death rocket. We'll have to see if it works out. You did see Svenska was getting quite aggressive in that mid lane a few moments ago as Candy Panda and Rachel were moving up from the river. So that is an option that is available to them.
Well, we should point out that while Mr. Rales was on his own down the bottom, he has been down there a while. He's got a big level advantage actually building up over Candy Panda. Along with that gold, the towers they took down earlier on, and the dragon. And the fact that he's been solo for a while has given that 2-level advantage and the minion advantage. That's why we see Candy Panda off on his own right now down that bottom lane and actually putting SK Gaming in a little bit of trouble in this mid turret.
It's a very important position to be in because Supa Hot Crew rely on Mr. Rale's performance to secure them wins. Now we do see a pretty good siege from the Supa Hot Crew. Freddy didn't have his teleports available, so he's needed to run down the lane. But this is a 3-man with Sven from the side. There's Agony's Embrace.
Sven tries to go in towards Mixer. He knows he's going to die, but he's going to be taken so low in a flame, and Mixer gets away again. The rocket whiffs and flashes past. The spears keep on rolling through. The barrier for Mr. Rales is he tries that spray and pray, but really it's only Freddy is catching.
Yeah, not this time round. The SK were not grouped up tightly enough for that to make sense. Now we do see Candy Panda finally moving towards this middle lane, but the tower is half on hit points. It might go down.
Supa Hot Crew keep the pressure down. Oh, Enrated takes a spear, and that may well force them to back away. Candy Panda coming round. Oh, the Chomper's doing a great job, and Mr. Rales is safe once again. Mima realizing he's not even needed for this one. He's backing away. They're going to keep that pressure on. They're going to take down that middle turret.
Yeah, the wave clear from SK was enough to delay that tower for at least a couple more seconds. Supa Hot Crew landed enough damage to force SK away. And just as you were asking if Selfie can land those spears, he does start landing them. And you see what a difference it makes. One key spear, and SK Gaming cannot defend. So Supa Hot Crew have now got all 3 of the outer turrets down, and they have the option to now roam between those lanes and try to exert some control over SK's jungle after the next dragon, which I'm expecting will be another contested objective.
Yeah, it's just a minute away, and SK will almost certainly want to fight for that one. Agony's Embrace should be up in time for that one, as will the Spirit Rush and Candy Panda's Rocket. All the ultimates that were burning defensive duties there will be available. Mr. Rale is backing off. He's got that Bloodthirster already completed. I think we're going to see possibly a Zeal coming out here from him and ready in time for this dragon.
Yeah, I think with the damage that Mr. Rales has right now, as long as SK group up, they're going to be in trouble. They've caught Mixer just a little bit.
Spear, not even close this time around. Mixer's in trouble. Wild Growth is not enough to save him, and he will go down. There is a spear landing on the back of Svenska though, but they are in a 4v5 situation.
So with Mixer being down, oh, that's another big hit and unrated. If SK take too much poke, it's going to prevent them from going for Dragon.
With Spray and Pray available, if they go into this Dragon fight that low, caught in the pit, that could be deadly for SK.
SK Gaming should not try to force a Dragon now. Yes, they have a numbers advantage, but they are behind when it comes to poke. Look at that. One max range spear onto Candy Panda almost takes him out. if they are sitting clumped up, Enraged into trouble.
And now Jesus took it. All four of them are low. That's an open season for Mr. Raleigh. Spray and pray is working out wonders. Can he get another one down? Gets one down. He's going to chase on towards Candy Panda, but the slow was enough and well played. But SK, they can't get close to that dragon.
SK Gaming should never have been there to begin with. Mr. Raleigh still trying to find some sneaky kills with that ambush ability. And because of the poke itself he has and the damage he's putting out and the execution ability of a spray and pray in those tight quarters, that was a mistake by SK Gaming. When you are against a Nidalee, you have to force her away to force big objectives. If SK ever want to go for a Baron, for example, or a Dragon or a Tower, that is always going to be a threat. Nidalee can 1v5 prevent those objectives going down thanks to her immense damage.
Fantastic stuff. It also gives Selfie that blue buff, taking it away from Jesus as well, which is another vital problem. Now Mima, he's taking away the red buff from SK's jungle. SK Gaming, just like Alliance, find themselves really up against it. You know, these lower league teams coming into this end of season are really causing problems. This is the most dangerous time to play them.
It is, and there's nothing on the line. You know, like for Super Hot Crew, they've got such a small window of opportunity to make it into playoffs. The risk is significantly lowered. And when you're playing risk-free and when you're playing without the worry of that, it works in your favor. Oh, Mixer, will he die?
I think he will. There's the charm. There's the explosion, but he's safe because Selfie comes in and he pounces on him. And now Jesus the spear lands. Oh, not quite enough.
That was a prediction not only for the Spirit Rush, but before the Flash as well. Jesus was just trying to put distance between him and Selfie and ended up working against him because he ate that maximum range spear.
Well, at the moment, Mr. Rales, though, is going to keep on pushing. The chompers are going to land, and Candy Panda may well lock down Mr. Rales, but he gets the stealth off again.
Yeah, it's a good escape mechanism. Yesterday when Mr. Rales was playing Caitlyn, he got shut down, got jumped on so many times that maybe he just wanted that escape. Maybe he wanted to get away from his opponents. You don't see any pink wards in the inventories of SK right now, and there's still some very good warding in this bottom half of the map for Super Hot Crew, which is allowing Mr. Rales to extend quite deep into enemy territory.
SK Gaming are pushing this bottom lane out. They're going to try and force it down. Super Hot Crew have already wrapped around because they're focusing on towards the middle. No, they're going to rotate back around. They fancy to get themselves some kills. Selfie's going to go to 1v3 defensive formation while the rest of the team do push this mid.
So one thing that we haven't seen from SK is Freddy. He got involved in a dragon fight earlier, and that's it. He still has teleport available. Ambush is out from Mr. Rales, and now Super Hot Crew attack speed. They're on Jesus.
They're well out of position here. SK Gaming floundering. Oh, the Cocoon lands, and just like that, Impaler squashes Jesus like a bug.
Yeah, Mr. Rales is going to use that spray and pray to clear the wave, and Super Hot Crew grab themselves the 4th tower of the game. They just walk up to the tower, grab a kill, grab the objective, and back away.
I hate to say it, but Jesus is not looking good on Ari right now, getting caught out of position once again. He tries to create the play, tries to be the man that sets up the situation, but Super Hot Crew are ready to react.
Yeah, you know, the Super Hot Crew, they ran him down. So there was little that Jesus could offer, but he had his Spirit Rush available, didn't manage to get away. What I think SK need to do is get much more pink wards on the map. They need to be able to see where Mr. Rales is ambushing around and where he's trying to sneak into. And if Super Hot Crew can just walk around the map the way they are right now, SK needs to take the game to them. Force Super Hot Crew on the back foot, force them to react to your game plan, and you reduce the power that Super Hot Crew have with that great poke and that great siege potential.
Well, we do see Mr. Rales all on his own. That's how Lights Mima rather down the side. Crocodile and a rat, not quite in the same species gene pool, but they're close enough for now in terms of League of Legends. And it will be the tower going down. The rest of Super Hot Crew are wrapping around on this one. They're going to rotate around to cover off that blue area. Mr. Rales will come down and help clean up the minions. And that will be another turret. That's the 5th turret of the game for Super Hot Crew.
And completely uncontested. SK Gaming were not there to defend. They didn't defend the inner turret. SK are so far behind in terms of damage. They're terrified of being engaged upon. Now SK trying to make a play happen. Charm onto Mima.
It's Mima though. It's the tankiest member they went for, and with the rest of Super Hot Crew coming around, they weren't worried about that one. Selfie's doing defensive duties in the top, preventing that top turret going down. 4 members of SK, they're going to push. They're going to get themselves this middle turret. It was already very low, and they do finally get themselves that objective, and they quickly rush towards the top.
So Impaler's cocoons have been very good on this Elise so far. He threaded a needle earlier, managing to catch out Jesus, then now lands it onto Candy Panda. Super Hot Crew thinking about going the mid lane, but they're undecided. They're going to push the mini wave right now as Freddy and Candy Pan to get top.
They all stopped the recall and now realizing they made a mistake because Super Hot Crew just rushing straight up there. They are going to get there in time for this inhibitor turret. It's going to be a race that SK just about won. They were very questioning themselves there. They were wondering, should we push the top? Would we go into that pace race situation?
Yeah, right now, Super Hot Crew have got control over the red buff area of SK. So if they get vision control, you can force SK to come to them. Play the Baron bait and play that sort of game. Unfortunately for Super Hot Crew, both the top and bottom waves are pushing against them. So Super Hot Crew have to counter push those lanes before they can make any long, drawn-out map-based plays. So you can see that for the time being, it does look like Mr. Riles is moving there. Dragon's going to be spawning soon, so I think that's going to be the focus now for Super Hot Crew.
So Blue Buff finally getting across to Jez's. That's a much-needed buff for him. Going to keep that cooldowns. Maybe can try and land some of those charms. Try and start something off. But Selfie, every time, pre-checking those bushes, throwing out those spears. N-Rated is there, playing a dangerous game, making sure he doesn't get caught by the spear. It would send him straight back to base.
Yeah, one of the things that's so good about the champion Super Hot Crew have right now is the wild growth from Lulu, the shield, the heal from Nidalee. Ari is all about blowing up one target, trying to get a Foxfire and a Spirit Rush into a single target. And if you can save that target by the abilities that you have on the Super Hot Crew side, all of a sudden that assassination power means nothing. It doesn't equal anything. And SK need to rely on the rest of their team to finish up the team fight. So Dragon has respawned. Long range spear starts it off. And Super Hot Crew are going to grab this one uncontested. SK trying to get to the inner turret, but they run the risk of being engaged upon from behind.
Yeah, they could get run down from behind. N-Rated's going to try and speed them up. Does try and put a ward down, but takes a spear to the face in the process. SK continuing. Good chompers going down. They pounce across. Selfie's going to get focused on. Wild Growth going down. Selfie does get dropped. They're going to try and turn his bat around. Mima taken low as well, but the damage is coming out well. Mr. Rala spraying and praying from the side, but he's going to get focused down. Svenskeren gets on towards him. He does manage to get one kill down. Mr. Rala, oh, he's got away. No, he gets taken down. Freddy can't get on towards him. Would you believe the great escapes coming out from Super Hot Crew? It is 3 for 1, sorry. But that could have easily been an ace.
Mr. Riles walks away with his life. He got zoned out by Freddy and by Svenskeren. We talked about how SK could do it. Now they're back in the game. They're on the inhibitor turret.
Some great zonal play from SK Gaming, and from losing a dragon to pushing an inhibitor turret. What a great play. We talked about the rotations against Fnatic. They've done it again.
Selfie got caught out. Selfie tried to move across the entirety of SK Gaming, stepped on the chompers, got blown up. We talked about how the wild growth in the heal could maybe save somebody. It's not enough.
Look at Selfie's over them.
He pounces onto the chompers. That is a 4-man Agony's Embrace from Svenskeren with a massive, massive shield. And because the poke and the damage just isn't there from Nidalee, this is a pretty good team fight. Now all of a sudden, Svenskeren and Freddy just peel and stick to Mr. Riles. That's a flash from Sven to chase him down. Fact of the matter is, Selfie should not have been there, should not have been caught. And why are you trying to get in melee range with Nidalee? Sit back, use your javelins, use your range to your advantage. And that was Mr. Riles escaping him on the side. Well, it's just cleanup crew for us.
Mr. Riles and Mima got away with nothing. That could have been an inhibitor, and maybe even a Necklace turret if Super Hot Crew would have, SK would have finished off those last 2 hits. As it is, we're back at it. And this time around, they're pushing in. And Super Hot Crew, they're going to try and regain some composure off that one. SK Gaming will take a gigantic chunk of confidence from that fight.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with a poke champion, this is something we talk about often, how the strongest way to deal with a poke champion is to engage on them very hard. Jump on them and shut them down. That was a flash over the chompers. Didn't want to get caught by anything. And the moment Selfie is jumped on, he offers nothing. So SK are going to be looking for Freddy and Svenskeren, maybe even Jez's to dive on him. Now SK, they're on the inner turret.
Mr. Rales was down in the bottom turret. Oh, Candy Panda, the moment he took that spear, you talked about it before, how quickly it can disengage. And the moment Selfie landed it, it stopped that attack dead in its tracks. And Mr. Rales will be back there in defense.
It's not over yet. Jez is looking for a charm. Doesn't connect it though.
No, it doesn't get close enough. And Miss Selfie will live to face another day. Spear on towards N-Rated, but them shields are getting bigger from N-Rated.
So right now, Super Hot Crew have got minions pushing the bottom lane, they're defending the top tower, and they've got an exposed inhibitor middle. So Super Hot Crew need to play the defense game. Stall SK Gaming from getting more objectives and making that gold lead smaller and smaller. And as it stands, Super Hot Crew are now trying to chase SK down. If good spears land, Super Hot Crew will follow it up. If spears don't land, and the charm does, all of a sudden SK will dive in.
Yeah, Svenskeren was ready to pounce on that one. Inner Flame does go in there, and that may be required to land from N-Rated if he wants to try and get one of those charms in, because at the moment they're not getting quite close enough to their target.
I feel like if Svenskeren can get a perfect flank for 3 or 4 members on Super Haku plus Trundle. That's their way in. Without landing a charm onto a target, you see Sven, he's waiting in the wings. If Super Haku continue pushing up, you can have Sven dive in from the side, Trundle running in the front line, and buy time for Jinx and Ari to find the targets they want to. Sven is still waiting on the signs. He's too far away for an engage to start right now, though.
Yeah, they don't want to risk this one. With Sven off the side, you mentioned he got that 4-man Agony's Embrace before. It gives him a gigantic shield if he can land it on multiple members, and becomes effectively the tank, the second tank in amongst the team. And you can see he's already building up that Hex Shrinker, that Warden's Mail. It's going to cause problems for him. Super Haku wisely back away.
Yeah, he is the second tank. I mean, the front line for SK Gaming is the Trundle and Evelyn, but it's not a straight up front line, because Svenskjern always wants to be flanking. I think right now, Selfie is doing a pretty good job at landing important spears, but Super Haku have not been able to extend their lead. You know, they got 5 towers early, and I don't want to say it's stalled, but they've been struggling to keep that pressure on, struggling to keep control of the map.
Well, remember Jez has had the blue buff in the previous push from SK. This time around, it's been taken away from him again. Selfie has that one once again, and with that dragon up in a minute, I think we may see a proper fight this time around. A full-on brawl. It is an advantage being built up by SK Gaming nonetheless, though. And those chompers were vital in the last fight. Not too sure, though, if they want to fight this one.
So it's funny, for a proper brawl to break out, SK would need to catch Super Haku off guard, because I feel like Super Haku would just land poke and chase SK away. You know, if Dragon was the contested objective, I'm not sure I think Super Haku will dive in. Spear lands an Enrated. It's not a game changer right now, but minions are about to move up to this top lane. Mr. Rals is doing a lot of damage.
Well, teleport coming in from Freddy. Just playing defensive duties, making sure they keep him away. They have pushed that wave in that top, which means somebody will have to deal with it, or that tower will get pushed. It's going to be fairly even, so they're not too worried about it. Them spears, though, keep on rattling through, and Jez is, well, he's going to have to back out of this fight. He's going to the fountain, and Super Haku continue pushing.
Yeah, at this point in time, one more spear and that's it. The tower's going to go down. Freddy is trying to block them off as best as he can, but look at the poke from the volatile Spiderlings, from Lulu on his Glitterlance. There's a double-edged sword. If you get caught by that Glitterlance, not only is it damage, it almost guarantees a spear in your face. Svenskjern, 50%, he's going in.
They're going on Mr. Rales, but straight away the Wild Growth and Barrier Spray and Pray comes out from Mr. Rales. They're putting the damage back down on towards SK. Mima taken so low, the Ignite's running. Jesus gets himself the kill, and well, SK Gaming defend the turret.
Yeah, SK were able to back away quickly enough, and that's the problem for Super Haku. They need the spears and the Twitch to kill people. If they don't, it is so much harder for Elise and for Necton to dive into the middle of SK. Now, Super Haku have not stopped the siege. They've got minions, they've got poke, and they've got a lot of HP bars on their 4 champions. They're sticking at it.
That spear lands on Freddy and takes him so low, but Super Haku already backing out of this engagement. Now, blue buff was not cleared out, but the dragon is up, and Super Haku going to take that objective instead.
Yeah, SK Gaming are not going to be able to get here quickly enough, so Super Haku hold on to that 4,000 gold lead. That's their 4th dragon of the game against SK, and they've really shown very good objective play, I think, this game. Barring the individual mistake of that mid lane fight that allowed SK to get back into it, Super Haku have been roaming, have been rotating. I still want to put an argument forward. Had Caitlyn been locked in, would it have been easier to take that tower? You know, it's something you have to question. If this is the playstyle Super Haku wanted, what is the thinking behind the Twitch? You know, and that's something we'll see as the game pans out. I'm being overly critical because at the end of the day, it's 240 CS 303. So, Mr. Rolls, you're doing a hell of a good job.
I'm just wondering if they were baited into it by the fact that Freddy had it highlighted at the start. They were going for that double stealth mechanic maybe, but as it was, Mr. Rales seems to be happy to do it. 303 hasn't died. Got great farm and got some great items. Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and Phantom Dancer up against the Bloodthirster, Static Shiv, and Last Whisper of Candy Panda.
And what a marked difference from yesterday's performance where Mr. Rales was shut down. I think, you know, the bans came out against the supports. You've seen a Leona ban, you've seen an Annie ban, you've seen a Vayne ban. Super Haku made it very, very clear they want to leave this game from their duo lane, and they're doing it. You know, 303, that is a very, very scary Twitch. And we'll see how much damage he can get done. Mima looks like he's found Jesus.
Spirit Rush had to be used there, and quick stun from Mima forces it away, so no ultimate available. That's going to go down in just a second. And there's the timer. Well, they managed to land the charm on Mima, but Well, he's the big tank of the team and not really the one you want to look for. Mr. Rala's happy to put the damage back on towards the turret. That's all they're focusing on. Svenskeren taking low from this one. Agony's Embrace has been used already, and SK using just about everything to hold on to this turret.
Super Hot Crew are pulling out all of the very important ultimates from SK Gaming. No Spirit Rush available. No Agony's Embrace means Evelyn, her engage potential is significantly low. Not only that, in this choke point, Evelyn's not going to do well from inside the base. They've caught Mr. Rala.
Mr. Rala's got out of the choppers, but quickly flashes out of it, and now puts the spray and pray back down, and Candy Panda had to run away from that fight. And again, Super Hot Crew continue that siege.
Yeah, I say they caught Mr. Ralls, but Mr. Ralls had caught them. 3 members of SK dive, Mimer's dead. When 3 members of SK jump onto Mr. Ralls, it makes his damage go higher because he's hitting multiple targets. Freddy is teleporting him from behind. Here he comes.
He fancies a fight. He goes on to Mixer. That's the support. Wild Growth is not available. He's going to put them choppers down. Freddy's going to tank out the rest of the team. Now SK join the party. Impaler's caught out. He's got nowhere to repel to. He's just going to drop on back down. He goes down. Now Mr. Rala's caught out. SK Gaming running on through. Candy Panda gets 2 kills. And remember, the inhibitor is exposed. They go for Baron.
That was a phenomenal play by SK Gaming. The teleport in from behind, plus the home guard boots, meant Super Hot Crew had no response. Their front line is a Renekton and an Elise. Elise was on low hit points and Renekton was dead. Now Selfie, if he gets charmed, he's probably going to die. Oh, that hurt.
Oh, the spear came in. Oh, that was just enough to give Jez a second thought, but instead they're going to go for that Baron. And with, well, Selfie's so low, he's just healing himself up. Candy Panda can turn on him at any moment, and Rated's going to run interference. That's a Baron for SK.
Selfie played safe there. He got caught out, took a lot of damage, and instead of trying to poke further with those javelin tosses, he went to go farm the mid lane. Every time Super Hot Crew pull themselves an advantage, stamp some form of authority of control in the game, SK Gaming pull it back. They had the play in the mid lane, now they have the play on their own base. They've evened up the goals.
This has gone from 5-1 turrets to 5-5. SK Gaming really have great mid-game control every single time they play, and now with that Baron buff, they effectively have the gold lead. It doesn't show it in the numbers, but in terms of abilities they get from that buff, it is huge for the next 4 minutes.
I think for a team like SK, their decision-making and objective play when they're grouped, especially from behind, is the best in the European LCS. No other team this split has played from a deficit and extended games and actually won games from being far down than anybody else. And they're doing it once again. Thanks to the Baron buff stats and the regen that they're going to get from that. If they don't take too many spears, they have the option and the opportunity to dive into Super Hot Crew and force fights. Now, I'd like to see SK pushing the top and the bottom lanes, get those inner turrets down, and then force Super Hot Crew to stay within their own base, remove all of their vision and all of that lane presence.
Well, don't forget, this middle exposed inhibitor is a possibility, and get those super minions flowing. Impaler is off at the side, and SK Gaming react to that. They know there's only 4 members defending here. They quickly come around. Candy Panda already starting to put the attacks on it. Freddy's going to come in. That big tanky frontliner does manage to use that picks on him. Takes a spear, actually, but again, that damage still coming out from SK. They've taken half their hit points off it already. Oh, Svenskeren wanted to get on towards him. Didn't throw the ultimate down, though, but they're going to continue tanking this one down. SK get themselves the inhibitor.
Yeah, Super Hot Crew don't want to go in. There was no poke onto key targets, and the front line of SK is much stronger than the front line of Super Hot Crew. Trundle plus Evelyn are going to be able to interfere with both Renekton and Elise. So at the end of the day, SK gets super minions in the mid lane. They've got a minion wave in the top lane, and now they're going for another turret.
That's a big wave pushing in for SK as well. They should be able to tank this one out a fair bit. They're going to put the damage down. A spear lands on Candy Panda, but they don't care. They've got the regen, and they get themselves another turret.
Another very good cocoon from Impaler. He's landed them so many times in these turret situations. The problem is his team is now defending against a Baron buff team. And if you land a cocoon but can't follow it up, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Right now, SK got the minions. The no advice is just to zone them out. That's Agony's Embrace on Impaler.
Agony's Embrace went on towards Selfie and Impaler, but instead they're going to rotate towards Mr. Rales, who shows himself. The moment Spray and Pray is used, SK disengage as quick as possible. They do not want to get caught out by that burst damage. Freddy takes a spear and a lot of damage as well, but the regen continues to flow from SK, and they keep pushing, and that's a lot of ultimates burned by the Super Hot Crew.
That is a lot of damage onto Freddy, though. So if Super Hot Crew can burst down a member of SK, they're not totally out of it, but the difficulty is so high. They've caught Freddy out again, but that doesn't matter. They need it on Candy Panda. They need it on Jez's. Spears are not connecting.
Ms. Mimer getting taken very low there. He has to back away. He's gone to the fountain. SK Gaming are going to step away from this one for now, though. They have got super minions coming through the mid, but they're going to get cleared off. Mr. Ramos and Selfie in this game is teetering on the edge right now. It's just 1,000 gold advantage for SK. They're going to go back. The Baron is going to wear off. We're going to reset. And we're going to be back to a position. There's a big wave in the bottom that you can see Impaler already on your screen. He's going to clear that out.
The problem is, Super Hot Crew's composition needs to be ahead in map control. Super Hot Crew do not ever want to be defending a tower because their wave clear is so difficult and so risky. Twitch is short range, Nidalee needs melee for AoE, Lulu is a support, she's not going to melt those waves. So the moment Super Hot Crew are in their own tower, yes, they can deal with champions because they've got good poke. Land a Cocoon, land a Glitter Lance, land a Javelin Toss, all of a sudden you can go for kills. But you can't defend against those minions. So we need to see how SK handle these next few minutes because Super Hot Crew are where they don't want to be.
Are now in the lead in terms of gold, and they have turned this game on its head, and we're paused again. It really affects them. Yeah, it really does. And luckily for N-Rated, he's got the ability to actually improve. And like we said, he's gone from those heavy engaged supports to peel and poke type champions like this Karma. Now, Dragon was secured by SK. It's only the second Dragon of the game. That was uncontested by Super Hot Crew. Super Hot Crew on full retreat. They don't want to be picking a battle with SK. Now, Baron has worn off. Do keep that in mind. So we hit the 40-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. It is 6-5, and SK have themselves the advantage over a poke comp, and you know what that generally means. However, Svenskeren, you can see his health. He's already taken a spear from Selfie. He's going to continue to try and land those. It needs to be an important target, though. If it lands on Jez's or Candy Panda, almost certainly will drop their health, but Candy Panda, with that Badge's Veil pops just there, could be a problem. Spears have to land. Svenskeren takes it. Cocoon lands as well. They may dive on this one. No, they choose to back away. The spear, though, lands on N-Rated, and again, Super Hot Crew force SK away. They may try and give chase.
Yeah, very good spears so far from Selfie, but SK are backing away. They're peeling good enough. They've caught Candy Panda. Nobody else is engaged.
The Cocoon goes in. Mima dives on it. It's a great wild growth this time around, but Jesus implodes Mr. Rales. Now Mixer gets focused on. He's going to go down. They're just running through the Super Hot Crew. It's a double. It's a triple for Candy Panda. There's the zap. Gonna land him through and towards Impaler. He has to flush away from this one. Freddy fancies he's gonna give chase, but the rest of the team, they're pushing the base.
Yeah, there are minions now pushing through the middle lane. Impaler's trying to hold them back. Super minions on the Nexus Stones. SK Gaming are looking to end it.
What a fantastic turnaround. Oh, the inhib spawn! The inhib spawn! SK Gaming, they have to turn around. It's delayed for a while. It's a 30-second death timer, though. It should be long enough for SK Gaming to win this game. They are gonna continue the top of the table charge, and what an immense turnaround for SK Gaming. So well played in the mid game.
And Jesus did perfectly in the end game team fight.